Russian President Vladimir Putin warns Europe will be dragged into military conflict if Ukraine joins NATO.
Here's a summary of the article.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned European countries will be drawn into military conflict if Ukraine joins NATO, following a meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron. Emmanuel Macron traveled to Moscow for talks amid a standoff over Russian military buildup near the Ukrainian border. In a joint news conference after talks, Mr. Putin said that a number of Mr. Macron's ideas concerning security were realistic and that the two would talk again once Mr. Macron had traveled to Kyiv to meet Ukraine's leadership. Mr. Putin added Russia will do everything from its side to find compromises that suit everyone. During talks, Mr. Putin told Mr. Macron, "I realize that we share concern about what's going on in Europe in the security sphere. The Pentagon has warned that Russia is continuing to add sizable troops along the Ukraine border, with a spokesman saying that with each passing day, Mr. Putin is giving himself more military options." President Biden warned there will no longer be Nord Stream 2, a crucial European gas pipeline if Russia crosses into Ukrainian territory.
This post received a score of 23,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Discussion's going well, I see.
Table was too big, pardon.
Need to get the lil fella a booster seat.
Calm down, little fella. It's none of your business if they do.
If Putin was dealing with Putin, he'd assassinate Putin by now.
Putin learns Putin behind plot to assassinate Putin. Invaded if it does, invaded if it doesn't.
They got invaded 8 years ago.
I remember that 2014 in Crimea.
There's unmarked Russian troops, I mean, Russian-speaking Ukrainian separatists, already all over East Ukraine.
Bingo, this fella gets it. It's practically confirmed.
So Putin's basically threatening to force WW3 if Ukraine joins NATO. Classy.
Yeah, I mean no one said Ukraine is going to join NATO. It has been, really abundantly clear Ukraine would rather wait a couple years than join now and risk WW3. Edit. Words.
I thought NATO even said they would have to go through a lot of changes to even be considered?
They would have to stop being in a state of war with Russia for a start. You can't join NATO if you're already in a conflict.
Sounds great for Putin's blustering then. He makes noise about how Ukraine cannot join NATO or else, and then when they can't join, regardless of the actual reason, it looks to the public like his threats were successful.
There's a reason Putin sent in all the separatists and took over Crimea after his buddy Yanukovych got booted. Putin knew NATO's rules just as well as anyone else. It effectively froze Ukraine out of NATO for the foreseeable future. And the same for Georgia and other little republics.
Lol, Russia doesn't play by the rules, why should NATO? Let them in if Russia gonna force the issue.
If you allow this country to join the alliance that was created to prevent Russian aggression, then Russia will attack all of you. Putin, you a wild boy. It's hard to overestimate how completely outclassed the Russian military is by the UK, France and Italy alone, even if they can't match the numbers. The USA turns up with its million-person army and its ludicrous fleet and AF, and that's it. NATO only fights defensive wars, but if you take it on, properly, on serious footing, then you lose. Russia FFS. Putin is a comedian. He's banking it all on being able to take Ukraine without this happening. If it does, then he's gone. They're already bankrupt.
I mean, Russia has the GDP of Texas. There's not much you can do in an era where wars can be won by just throwing money at the problem.
There's not much you can do in an era where conventional wars can be won by just throwing money at the problem. Sue.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.